there, Happy New Year if you haven't already heard from me yet this year, and welcome to my channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. Thank you for being here, very much appreciated. And do check out my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, and you will see more content, different content on there, so go and check that out as well. So let's have a look at what's coming up on today's live. So we will start with today of Cyprus New Year. It's Epiphany today, and that is a very big holiday in Cyprus. I'll be talking a bit about that. So big celebrations in Cyprus. Then we've got Knacks and Hacks. We have what to watch on a coffee break. We have Let's Look at a Book I Took from My Book Nook. We have Jokes, Fun and Puns. And we have Quote Corner, and also what you should be doing in your garden this week and next week. If you do gardening, then that is something for you in our Sow Grow Mow and Ho 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 section. So without any further ado, let's get started straight away with this. So as I told you last time, this is a bigger celebration than Christmas itself, as the gifts are normally given on the 5th or the 6th of January in Cyprus. The 6th of January is Epiphany Day, when all the waters are blessed or baptized, as we say, and all evil spirits are expelled from the waters for the coming year, and the little gnome-like people have had time to sail away and leave us in peace. And if you wanted to see me throw in the cake that we have here over the roof to get rid of the bad goblins for the year, then go and watch my last live, and you'll see me outside and see if I made it, if the piece of cake got over the top, which means good luck for the year. If it didn't make it over the roof or got stuck on the roof, then it is bad luck for the house and its inhabitants for the year. So go and look on my last live and you'll see that. And it says here, many foreigners think that the Orthodox Christmas is on this day. This is true in a way because Jerusalem and some Eastern countries still use the old calendar, so that their Christmas falls on the 6th. Actually, East and West only celebrate the movable holidays on the same days. On Epiphany Day, after the church ceremony, the priest says, "Come and take the light," at which all women go and light their large triple candle from his, and this light is carried home and needs to be kept burning for 40 days in front of the icons that are kept in each house. It is for this reason the holiday is called Fota, which is Day of Lights. And all those named Fotis, Fortunia, Fortula, or any similar names celebrate their name day. After church, everybody goes to the seafront, if there is one, or near to a river, if there's one. There's very few rivers in Cyprus. The archbishop or the bishop, with all the priests and dignitaries of the town, walk in procession, preceded by youths, carrying the icons and the church banners, as well as the silver paraphernalia, crosses and so forth. Then comes the town band, if they have one, playing hymns, followed by the big congregation, and thus is formed a large linery, slowly proceeding through the main streets until the waterfront, already thronged with people, and that is reached. When they arrive at the jetty, the priests sail out in the boat and they baptize the cross. After a short sermon, the cross is thrown into the sea, and youths dive eagerly trying to retrieve it. It is considered a great honour to do this, and the lad who comes up first with the cross is blessed by the Archbishop or by the Bishop. This is also the day when children visit their godparents, from whom they expect a monetary present. They have a folk song with the words "Good morning" also on Epiphany Day, and the money box first. Because children either take their money boxes with them and get something put inside it, or they will get a new money box with money in it, never give an empty money box or an empty purse. And they save up for the whole year in this money box. And you'll see shops just full of money boxes, and now you'll know why. Local money boxes are earthenware, and when they are full, they are thrown with great joy onto the floor and broken, much like the English piggy bank. In order to set the date for the next fasting period, as well as for some of the holidays, Pascha, Easter, has to be fixed, for this is a movable holiday. Easter is the greatest holiday in all of the Greek Orthodox Church. It is fixed according to the moon, that is to say, it is always celebrated in Cyprus on the first Sunday following the full moon of the spring equinox. So I hope you learned something interesting there. And let's have a look at the comments today. We have our great friends, Steve and Tina Jewell. We have a government announcement, says Steve. Interesting. And Della, who is one of my longest watching viewers. So a huge thank you and hello to both of you. Do go and check out Steve and Tina Jewell's channel and join their duck race. If you don't know what that is, go on their channel and find out what the duck race is. So go and check out those channels there. So thank you both for being here. I appreciate that very much. Okay, shall we go on and do our joke for today? Let's do that. So let's get on with the joke of the day. It's quite a short one today. A worried little man walked into the shop and he asked for a pound of mothballs. The grocer sold him a pound of mothballs. A week later, he returned and asked for another pound of mothballs. The grocer, somewhat surprised, sold him another pound. A week later, the little man returned and asked for 2 pounds of mothballs. The shopkeeper, now amazed, said, "You seem to have a lot of moths in your house." "There are," said the worried man. "I can't hit them every time with the mothballs." A bit of fun there. Steve's carrying on about his government announcements. He says the Prime Minister is going on the he's going to soon step down. That's in Canada, yes? In Canada. Okay, Happy New Year, Dawn and Mike. Thank you very much. I will relay that to Mike. His room's actually there. You can't get that way. You have to go out here, through the kitchen and breakfast room, through the winter lounge, and back into Mike's room. He's literally through there, but it's a solid that was originally the outside wall of the house. So you can't hear him when he's there. Right, he's to step down. Right, okay. That's interesting. What impact will that have? What impact will that have, Steve? I don't know anything about your government at all. Della says, Steve and Tina Jewell, good morning and Happy New Year to you both. And there's a beautiful little picture there as well. Trudeau Canada. Trudeau, is that how you say it? Trudeau Canada. Okay, I have to look into that. I don't know anything about that at all. Okay, what should we do now? Oh, we better do Quote Corner. I'm going to see if I can find time this week to make some new Quote Corners. As you know, each live has a different quote, and I regularly swap them and give you some new ones. But for now, this is the current quote for Monday Lives. I was inspired there by the little icon that Della put up, so that's a lovely little picture on the end there. Steve saying he's screwed up the country, have to get rid of him. Is there anyone in any country or state that has someone in charge that is brilliant? I don't think I've known that at all in history of all our years, let's say. We won't talk about past history before any of our times, but currently, does anyone have anyone any good running their country? Do let me know. That would be interesting for sure to speak of. Steve saying, good point. It's not a case of how they've screwed the country up, it's how bad. And I don't know about any other countries, but England for sure, they're just in it to make money for themselves and their family. And are there any normal people, as in people of the streets, that are actually in power? That's what you need. That's what you need for sure. Someone who's lived life without money and privilege. Steve's laughing. Okay, let's go on to this. Let's do a bit of a mix today of knacks, hacks, facts and stats, shall we? The first one is, when you're defrosting your freezer, wrap your frozen food in newspaper. The next one is, to speed up the process of defrosting a freezer, use a hairdryer once the ice has started to melt. A pair of laundry tongs, or you could use pasta tongs, I suppose, with a piece of toweling fixed over each arm, will reach those difficult corners to defrost a freezer. Okay. Wash brooms and brushes regularly in warm soapy water containing soda crystals, and then rinse well in cold salted water, which will then re-stiffen the bristles dry outdoors. Let's do a couple more. Wipe a dirty galvanized bucket with a rag dipped in paraffin. Then wash with hot soapy water, which will remove any grease. Rinse and dry. Let's do one more today. Soak any lintless dusters in bucket containing equal parts of paraffin and vinegar. Drip dry out of doors and store in a polythene bag. So make sure they're not ones with lintless. Okay, let's go and have a look at the comments. Let's see where we're up to. Della's saying, here in the United States, we have a lot of things happening. Our government is getting real messed up. Steve saying, snouts in the trough. Yes, Steve. And we have Two Doves, Bees and Gardens here. Hello, you all. I think our government here in Texas has been brilliant. Sorry, that was me misreading it. Is that true, or are you being sarcastic? I don't know. I don't know who you have. I don't know who you have. So hello to Two Doves, Bees and Gardens. Thank you so much for being here. It is really appreciated. Okay, I'm a little bit all over the place today. You'll know why. I've got a video coming up. I was going to edit it today, but I ran out of time. I had other commitments today, but things have been happening here. You'll see it soon. I want to get out there, so my next day I can edit is Wednesday. So you won't have it till, let me see, today I posted for Wednesday and Friday. To look, because I get so confused, Wednesday and Friday. So it will probably be, if I edit it this week, you can probably see it next Monday. And why am I ahead? Well, I don't know what I'm doing half the time, how well I'll be, and I want to keep my videos posted regularly. True says Two Doves, Bees and Gardens. Well, that's good news then. That's very good news for you, for sure. I was going to do something then. Oh, I know what I was going to do. If I can do it, I'm going to show you something for a little bit of, maybe it inspire you to get out in your gardens. I know some of you are having chilly times and you're just like, oh, we'll leave the garden for a bit. But I don't know about you. When I see people doing gardening, I want to get out there and do my own garden. So if I show you this little clip, maybe it will inspire you to go outside, even if you just wander around your garden and make some plans. So let me see if I can do it, because it's not how I normally put things up to show you. Let me see. No, it's not there. Where is it? Wait. I've got to grab it from down here to do it this way. I don't think it's going to let me do it now. Sometimes it does. No, I had it up before we came on. I thought, oh, I can share that. I can't get it. It's there. It's there. Oh, it's on my browser's blocked it. Oh, it's done a block now. Click the screen item. Okay. Wait. Okay. Maximize. No. No, I'm completely off this screen now. I don't know why it's not showing it now. Wait. It's sitting there. I just can't bring it on the screen. New tab. No, there's nothing in the new tab. It's down here. It's down here. Wait, let me see. Yes, I do this present and share, but it's not coming up. Is it there? Oh, it's here. Let me see. Ooh, there it is. Okay, let's see if I can play this for you. Sorry for I can't play it now because I can't get to it. I've got it up here now. I can't get to it. It's gone. Let me see if I can play it. Ah, here we go. Yay! Yay, I got it up. Success. Success. It's because it's not actually on my computer per se. So I couldn't work out how to grab it and put it up. I got it up in the end, but then I didn't have where I got it from to play it. I did it. Success. Success. Persevere, guys. Whatever's happening for you, just stay cool. Stay cool. Persevere. It's something I've used now and then from that format of putting things up. And I've even written down, you saw me look, I've written down how to do it, and it doesn't always work. Or it comes up and blocks the whole screen and I can't minimize it. And as I say, I tried it just before we went live and it was fine. That did the same thing. Oh well. Oh well. Stay calm. Stay calm, guys. Stay calm. It's my new little saying at the moment. New one for you to learn. It's a Cypriot saying, Kratagera. Kratagera. You have to emphasize this first A. Kratagera. And that means hang on in there. Hang on in there. So that's your, a lot of you have got Meraki now, but do you remember what it means? Do you remember what it means? Okay, let's see where I was up to with the chat. Steve says, oh, you're going political, Steve. Steve's going political. Is Texas red or blue? Two Doves says, overall, Texas is about as red can be, with some exception in the big cities. Steve says, I think we're in for some very interesting times with the upcoming USA president. We have Rex, Trion, Sharon and Jackson there. Sharon, I thought about you yesterday. You'll be like, really? Yes. I don't know if any of you guys have seen them. You probably have if you're on social media a lot. All these funny videos where people are being conned into buying mugs that look like, they say are made from the real crystals and precious stones and whatever else, all the oinks and just the different crystals. You know, you get, sometimes you have the rock or whatever and they've cut a bit out, mined it, and you have all the pretty patterns and colours, and they're selling fake mugs all over the internet. Amazon, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Etsy, they're everywhere. And people have done YouTube videos on them showing they are not what you think they're going to come looking like. They are so funny. If you want to see a good roundup of it all, this is a channel where I watch a lot. I think it's just called Marky. I think his channel's just called Marky. If you type that in, you should find him. It's just a guy. He normally wears a baseball cap, and he kind of shows you these con things, and he sort of tells you con channels and things like that. He's done it very recently. I don't know what the video was called I watched, but it's a great roundup showing you all these mugs and what they show you they look like. They're all AI, and then when you buy them, they are so funny. They are ridiculous. Do not buy them. Do not buy them. And that's why I thought it was Sharon, because she collects all different crystals and things like that. And I thought, I hope Sharon hasn't bought one. So that's why I thought it was Sharon. Two Doves, Bees and Gardens, Pretty Little Birdie. Yeah, there's Robin in my garden. There's a Robin in my garden. I think that was last year I filmed that, and I was just there chopping some wood there, chopping some wood up, and Kit was all suddenly a bit scatty, and I had my phone on me because I was listening to some music, and I got it out. I thought, what's he seen in all the conifer trees? And I got it out, and that's why I screenshotted that first bit, because I just saw it and it moved. So I did a nice screenshot of the Robin, and then he came down. Kit didn't try to get him or eat him or frighten him away. He's a sweet little cat. Sweet little cat. Jackson's at school. I should hope so. Sharon says, I hope Trump gets things in order, you know, Steve. Steve says, I'm for him. That was me saying, Marky the channel. Steve says, we need him here. Sharon does know. Good. Yeah, you have to watch the fake crystals. Yeah, they've made them into mugs. They're selling them as tea and coffee mugs. And Sharon will know that one red flag should be the fact that many types you wouldn't be able to put your lips on. They can be quite toxic, certain crystals. They can be quite toxic. And that is something that bothered me when children were collecting them, and they, like, you know, for peace and happiness and calm and whatever else, and they were handling them all the time, and they didn't really know what they were touching. So you need to know what they are. The AI also shows, as they're pouring tea or coffee into the mug for their promo, it's really bad AI, because before the coffee gets poured in, steam is coming out the top of the mug. Another bit of the AI, steam's coming out the sides and the back. And another one is, as they put it in, it's transparent. But when you order them, there's like a metal container inside, and it's about, I'm not joking, that thick. You can't even drink. Steve said, I hope he doesn't screw Canada. Sharon says, still no, I've seen those crystals you're talking about. I haven't bought any of them. No. And they're saying, Steve talks a lot about AI. He knows a lot about AI, and he'll be the first one to tell you some of it is very good now. And this Marky talks about the fact that a lot of people don't even know about AI, like older generations perhaps, and they don't know about AI, or even some young people think everything they see is real, and it's not. But if they're saying, if all these places can, just got to close my tab, if all these places can sell things using AI, and things, we've all seen videos where things come that aren't the size that you think they are. So someone's got a funny one. You know, these cat activity trees that are really tall. Someone ordered a cat activity tree. Doesn't say measurements on it, and it came like a little miniature model. So if all these fakery things can go on, I wouldn't ever order online. This might be a great thing for shops. You know, shops are like doing badly because everyone's ordering online. Don't order online. Go to a shop, and then no one's got sympathy for you if you order online. It all goes wrong. Where are we? Sharon's saying, absolutely. That's why when you go rock hounding, wear gloves. Yes, yes. But don't you agree? A lot of young people like collecting them and whatever, and they don't know. They don't know. I for being one for being the 51 state, right? Sharon's agreeing. Steve says he's resigning now live on TV. Sharon says, hey, Dawn, I'll be right back. Something's come up. Okay, let's go on then. And I forget there's a new button you have to press now for things. New things. I don't like things changing. Okay, let's move on and let's do this. Okay, so we're continuing about birds. Everyone's saying they really love all my little bird sections, so we should carry on with birds. And I'm learning a lot of interesting things. I think the most awesome thing I learnt so far was that not all birds get up at the same time or go to bed at the same time. And we can guess the laziest birds. Okay, so today we're talking about perching and walking. And it says the bodies of birds are adapted for flight, but most birds spend only a small part of their lives in the air. In the garden, you're more likely to see birds perched on a tree or shrub, hopping across a lawn or climbing amongst foliage in search of food. The feet of birds, like their wings, vary between different species according to each species' needs. So for perching, most garden birds belong to the large group of species which are literally sparrow-like type birds. Many birds, including some seabirds, regularly perch, but the feet of this type of bird are most suited to grasping twigs and wires. Some, like the tits and warblers, are in fact very acrobatic. A perching bird's foot has 4 toes, 3 in the front and 1 behind. The rear toe is short on walking birds, such as chickens, and on swimming birds, such as ducks. Perching birds have a much longer rear toe that is opposable, like a thumb, and it gives a firm grip on slender twigs. When landing on a vertical surface, long needle-sharp claws help maintain a strong hold, as tits demonstrate on bird tables. Sleeping on a perch would be precarious business, except that perching birds are able to lock onto the perch, so their grip will not relax as they doze off. The tendons that flex the toes run around the ankle and the knee joint. As the bird's weight settles on landing and the legs bend, those tendons are pulled and they automatically bend the toes around the perch. The toes only uncurl as a bird takes off, when its weight is removed and its leg straightens. A second locking device operates on the underside of each tendon in the toe. When a bird perches, hundreds of tiny knobs press between ribs on a surrounding tendon sheath. Climbing. Most specialised tree climbers tend to have short legs with strong toes that make clinging to a vertical surface easy. The woodpeckers, which are the most specialised, have a very different arrangement of toes, 2 facing forward and 2 backwards. They also have especially stiffened tail feathers in which they brace themselves against the trunk. The tree creeper is similarly endowed, and both these birds hop up trunks and out along branches, sometimes underneath, in their search for food. After examining one tree, they fly down to the base of the next and work their way up again. The nuthatch, by contrast, does not use its short tail as a prop and can go up and down trees with equal ease. The use of the tail as a prop is not confined to woodpeckers and tree creepers. You can see tits support themselves with their tails when they land on upright feeders, and starlings and sparrows do so when they alight at nest boxes. Magpies have also been seen to use their long tails to climb tree trunks like the woodpeckers. Hopping and walking. Generally, birds that spend much of their time in trees, especially the smaller birds, hop when on the ground. This seems to be because hopping is the best way of moving through trees, jumping from perch to perch. Birds that spend more time on the ground either walk or run. Thus, chaffinches walk, but greenfinches, which less frequently feed on the ground, hop. The exceptions include the ground-dwelling dunnock, which hops, and the blackbird, which both hops and walks. And finally, head nodding. From peacocks in stately homes and chickens in the run, to pigeons, starlings and wagtails on the lawn, nodding the head to and fro is common amongst birds that walk rather than hop. You might think a nodding bird would find it hard to see where it was going, let alone find food. Try reading while swinging your head from side to side. Yet, if you could see the movement in slow motion, the true state of affairs would be revealed. At every step, there is a point where, though the head is moving relative to the body, it is stationary compared to its surroundings. This keeps the eyes steady and makes it easier to pick out tiny morsels of food or distant predators. Birds that hop take advantage of the pause between each jump to scrutinise their neighbourhood. The evidence that head nodding is a means of fixing the eyes comes from an experiment in which pigeons had to walk on a moving conveyor belt. When the speed was adjusted so that pigeons were stationary relative to their surroundings, they stopped nodding. Very interesting, some of this book. So let me know if you want me to continue with that. Steve's taking a break. Be back soon. Be back soon. Okay, I think we will now go on then to this section. Okay, let's have a look at the gardening diary as to what you should be doing in week 2 of January. Week 2 of January. And the author says, as well as continuing to make out your seed orders, now is the time to prepare cropping plans for the coming season. Those who enjoy drawing up plans can do so in detail on squared paper with measurements scaled down to 1/12 actual size, or even further if your garden is larger. Yes, my garden is over 6,000 square metres. You may, on the other hand, be quite content with rough sketches, but you should have a clear idea of where you're going to grow each crop. I do just the beds, so I don't draw the whole garden plan. I'll just draw where my raised beds are, not in a big garden plan. I'll just draw my raised beds. I'll do my hugels, how many there are in lines, and I've actually done it on paper, and I keep it in a plastic sheet. And then each year I can either put post-it notes on top of each bed, what's going where, or I can write on top in Chinograph. That works well until I add more beds or change things around. And it continues. Keep in mind that though these plans are the ideal, weather and crop failures may necessitate modifications. Flexibility is one of the keys to good gardening. The ability to respond to unexpected changes in your growing conditions and to change your selection of crops and methods of cultivation accordingly. That is the sign of a good gardener. In crop planning, there are a few rules which, if followed, will lead to consistency and consistently healthier and heavier crops. Firstly comes the principle of crop rotation. Do not in general grow the same crop in the same plot for more than 2 successive years. This is particularly important with brassicas and potatoes. Ideally, allow a break of at least 2 years before returning to the same crop or another crop from the same family. I often say if you've got enough growing space, actually leave a bed or an area fallow for a while. Let everything build up naturally, the nutrients and so on. Oh, Steve's watching the guy leaving. I can't think of the word now. The guy leaving, and that's what he's watching. So he's telling us what a great job he's done. Laugh out loud. Okay, so ideally take a break of at least 2 years before returning to the same crop or another crop from the same family. It is safe, though, to ignore this rule with certain crops such as sweet corn and tomatoes. As a guide, a good system of rotation is to use a plot of land for root crops for a year, followed by a year of brassicas. Be careful, you shouldn't have one type of brassica growing near another type of brassica. It doesn't do it much good, and also if you do get a bug, it just goes along to the next lot. So try and keep your brassicas well away from other brassicas. Keep them as far away as possible. That's actually a good tip. If you don't do it, try, and you'll see a big improvement in crop. In the third year, miscellaneous crops such as lettuce, beans or peas. The fourth year, return the plot to root crops and so on. In theory, all farmyards and other bulky manure should have been dug into the soil during autumn, but this is sometimes a counsel of perfection, and many gardeners find it necessary to continue with the operation all winter. From now onwards, confine this bulky manure to land which is to be devoted to crops which are either miscellaneous, as listed in the third year. So your third year was lettuce, beans, peas, for example, or to brassicas to be transplanted fairly late in the spring or summer. Never use freshly manured land for growing root crops or you'll get forked and badly shaped roots. I just dug up some carrots yesterday. They were fat. They were all really fat, about that big, dumpy ones, but they were supposed to be short carrots. I don't know what you call them, like that. But then they would have lots of other bits coming out. They were only one. You know how sometimes they subdivide, but it was only one. And they're great, not just nodules, like I should have taken footage of them actually to show you, but they were like they wanted to all grow out this way. They were funny, but really good carrots, really nice ones. I think they were azure. I think they were that azure. Where are we up to? There. Bear in mind the light and shade requirements of each crop and wind as well, especially if you've got sweet corn. You want a little bit of a breeze, but not in a really big breeze, windy area, because when they have their little tassels, they won't seed properly. They won't pollinate. If possible, have the rows running north-south, thus ensuring each plant will receive its full share of sunlight. Low-growing plants are exceptions. They can be used in borders or along paths running east-west. Do not plant tall crops such as runner beans and Jerusalem artichokes on the south side of a garden plot, unless you intend to grow a shade-loving plant behind them. These tall-growing plants form a most effective screen, however, and can be used to conceal the compost heap or garden shed or any other eyesore. Another point to be considered is companion crops. I'm a great lover of companion growing, planting. I must do another video about that soon. So it's all very well talking about it, but I want to do a big list of all what goes with what and what doesn't go with what. Much research still needs to be done on this subject. It is generally accepted that certain crops assist some neighbouring plants in their growth, but have an inhibited effect on others. And also, as I always say, plants and flowers, or something that blossoms and flowers and will bring pollinators in. That's the best help you can do for your crops. The explanation seems to be that the roots of these plants manufacture chemicals which are either beneficial or harmful to certain others. One such chemical is asparagine, produced by asparagus, which is beneficial to nearby tomatoes. Onions and their tribe, including shallots, leeks and chives, are not regarded as good neighbours by beans, peas or carrots. Cabbage does not do well by a strawberry bed. Potatoes and tomatoes are no help to each other. That's because they're from the same family. But sweet corn does well next to potatoes, peas, beans and all cucurbit family. And the author says, I plant dwarf beans, marrows, pumpkins or cucumbers all around the sweet corn plot, allowing the trailing vines of the cucurbits to explore between the tall stalks. That's a good use of space. An exceptionally useful job is to fill in a few hours or wet afternoon or dark evening to prepare labels for the seeds you will soon be sowing. Oh my goodness, I've tried so many methods of labelling. So many methods. Give me a good labelling advice. No cost labelling. I've tried so many things. Lots of it works. Some of it doesn't. Give me your labelling ideas. As I say, no cost. Don't tell me to buy anything. No cost. It may sound trivial, but experience has taught me that when sowing time comes, I'm often so busy writing out labels for particular crops. It is one chore that often falls by the wayside. The temptation is to neglect the task, relying on being able to recognise a pea or lettuce once the seedlings are up. Oh, I can tell you about this. You know, I've been starting my winter indoor seed growing for November, since November. I labelled it all. I drew charts. I put labels on all the plants. Then some stuff needs to be transplanted into like smaller pots. So I do those, and then some more need doing, and then some into slightly bigger pots, and then I move them around, and that's the end of my labelling. I've either left labels behind, or I caught Mr. Colin Waffles, one of my cats, playing with the labels. He's been, because I've got some on popsicle sticks, and he's been knocking them off and playing with them. And now I've got some planted outside. I don't know what's what. And as it says here, you can recognise stuff. Well, be very careful at the beginning, because different cucumbers can look like different squash at the beginning. So all I've done is kept them in groups. I know this group is something. I know this group is something, but I'm not 100% sure what. So they're still in groups, which you might say, well, at least if you plant all the same things out together. Yes, but I've got one raised bed I want to use only for zucchinis. So I don't want to be moving those somewhere else. And I don't want to be putting anything in that bed that isn't zucchinis. My friends, Two Doves, Bees and Garden says, I've seen people use old window blinds and cut them into sections for labels, write on with permanent markers and spray with hairspray. Oh, that's a good one. Mike's given me plastic, I don't know what you call them, gallon things. You can get like, say, big bulk vinegar and things like that in them, with a little carry handle. You can get like fabric conditioner for washing your clothes, like the plastic, like a sort of not quite see-through. anyway, those. And Mike said, cut those up. You can make labels of those. So that sounds quite similar to the window blinds. I don't have window blinds, but I go down and salvage a lot of the dump. So that is something I will now look out for. People will be throwing old window blinds away. Of course I have hairspray. I used to be a dancer. I've probably still got hordes of hairspray somewhere. So that's great. I will look into that. Thank you for that. If I do that, make a video doing it, I will remember to credit you for that. So thank you for that. Where was we up to? Yes, so that's saying about the temptation to neglect the task of making labels, relying on being able to recognise a pea or a lettuce once the seedlings are up. Then 1 year after harvesting a magnificent crop, you're determined to grow the same variety again, but have forgotten which one it was. Avoid this pitfall by getting in a supply of plastic labels and marking them up straight away. I was looking for, because I'm sure they were cheap, in England you used to get flat sort of plastic labels for plants. So you dig them in, they've got a little point and they're flat, about that big. You can't buy labels in Cyprus for plants. You can't. You can't. I've tried garden centres. You can buy these fancy ones. They're like little squares on a long stake and they're like little easels and you write on those. I don't know how that will work when the rain comes. I guess you use those like marker pen that you use on blackboards, I suppose. But there's only like 3 in a packet and they're a fortune. I'm like, no. And it says, outdoors, if snow falls and half buries your cloches, let it lie. It makes a cosy blanket for plants inside. Then it goes on about the fruit garden. In the fruit garden, although grapevines can be planted, weather and other factors permitting, any time between mid-autumn and late winter now is a reasonable time to do this, provided the ground is not frozen or waterlogged. So it's all very well say it's dry now, but if you're going to get heavy storms, then it will become possibly waterlogged. Plant the vines about 1.2 metres apart in a sunny position. It is not unusual for grapevines grown in small greenhouse to have their roots planted in a bed outside the house and the fruiting rods trained inside. Well, that's interesting. I think you'd have to protect the roots a little bit though from the cold. This practice gives the roots an unrestricted run whilst giving the crop itself protection under the glass. It's often the roots you need to keep warm though as well. Grape cuttings taken now, either of a single eye, about 5 centimetres in length, or of well-ripened young shoots, about 15 to 20 centimetres long, will be ready for planting in their permanent positions in a year's time. Long cuttings used for outdoor culture are inserted upright in sandy soil outdoors, under cloches or frames in cold areas. The eye cuttings are placed horizontally in pots of cutting compost and rooted in gentle heat. This is a slightly more difficult method of propagation, but tends to have a higher success rate. In the mildest districts and gardens, it will not be long before peaches and associated fruits will start to break their winter dormancy and come into leaf. Keep a close watch on them from now on, as soon the buds will begin to swell and the green tips start emerging from the brown bud scales. The spray finely if you need to spray, and cover the whole tree because you're aiming to provide a protective covering as well as destroying any existing fungal spores at the same time. In the house, stitch it up, capturing country life. Hello to you. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're having a good new year. So let's say hello to you. My hello's gone. They disappeared. Well, let's do this instead for you. So let's talk about in the greenhouse. I don't have a greenhouse. I have my indoor growing. In the greenhouse, most gardeners are content with a greenhouse heated to a temperature of 7 degrees C, which is 45 degrees Fahrenheit, just sufficient to protect the plants from frost. Properly, very few of the greenhouses kept at 16 degrees C, which is 60 degrees Fahrenheit, have crops of tomatoes and cucumbers now, chiefly because of the short hours of daylight. Crops sown from midwinter onwards, when the day length is increasing, will usually make better progress than those sown a month or two earlier. In about a week, sowing time in the greenhouse will begin in earnest. So if there's any last-minute greenhouse painting or disinfecting to be done, or repairs need to be made, delay no longer. Even if you did a major disinfectant job on the greenhouse back in autumn, a second going over will do no harm. The middle of the winter is a good time to begin to think about taking strawberries in pots into the greenhouse for forcing, if you have not yet done so. Make sure they are not dry as the roots, and also tidy off any dead leaves. Bring them inside and put them on a shelf near the roof where they can get plenty of sunlight. Do not give them any heat at first. The protection given by the greenhouse will be enough for the first 10 days or so. Oh, that's all right, Steve. It's important news for you. Steve's got to watch the news with his resignation going on there. Okay, so let's finish with at a glance calendar for week 2 in your garden in January, week 2 in January. So vegetables, roundup, what you should be able to harvest now. If you're not growing these, then make a little note. You could grow them next year, what would be ready now. So you should be able to harvest Brussels sprouts, cabbage, including Savoy, heading broccoli, winter cauliflower, sprouting broccoli, purple, chicory, forced, Jerusalem artichoke, kale, parsnip. I wish I could grow parsnip here. If any of you can get parsnip seeds, could you send some this way, please? We cannot get parsnip seeds. Winter radish, salsify, spinach and spinach beet. Fruit that you should be planting now, as long as you've not got your frost. Apples, figs, grapes, mulberries, nuts, pears, stone, bush and cane fruits. You should be pruning your apples, pears and quince. Take into your greenhouse your strawberries in pots. In your greenhouse, you can sow beetroot. My beetroots are about this big now, the leaves, like off the ground. Carrots, French bean. My beans are this tall. I edited one of the videos today of my bottle farm. Definitely my best way to grow or start early. I got so much growing, so I edited that today, so you'll be seeing that soon. Where were we? Greenhouse, beetroot, carrots, French bean, lettuce. I've been eating lettuce for months. Mustard and cress, tomatoes. My tomato plants are about that big. You should transplant in your greenhouse now chicory, rhubarb, sea kale for forcing. And you should be able to harvest now in your greenhouse carrots, French beans, lettuce, mustard and cress, parsley and radish. And radish is something I've been eating for quite some time now. You love, is that grapes? Is that grapes? I think that's grapes. You love grapes. We've got, how many grapevines have we got? 3, 6, 7. I think 7. Yes, 7. We've got 3 by the stone table. We've got 3 now on the chill out patio. That's 6. And we've got 1 over there. See, there's 1 over there. There's 1 on this patio over here. So yes, 7 lots of grapes. 7. Okay, let's do a quick roundup of what to watch on your coffee break, just to show you what I've posting and what's coming up for posting. So we'll have a little look at that. So first of all, we'll go to my other channel. Let's run that on the ticker tape underneath so you can have a look at that. If I can find my book where I write what I've posted. So let's see what's been happening on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty and what you can find on there. Finding the right page. Here we go. So coming up next on that channel on Wednesday will be another shopping haul and storage solutions. Shopping haul and storage solutions. And then today on that channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, running it on the ticker tape below. Today I posted a nice chew up video of sunrise and sunsets and my birds when they fly off and come back, dawn and dusk. And we have, I'm not joking, hundreds of little sparrows in my yucca trees. So that's there. And prior to that, I posted another declutter, sort and clean video. And there's lots of cleaning hacks and tips. But if you just like watching someone clean and tidy and sort and declutter, that's one for you there. And we'll take a quick look at this channel. So today, it's Monday. Today I posted on this channel no cost, no heat, indoor seed cultivation and growing tips, plus my bottle farm. So you'll see the first bit of that, you will see that, but as I say, I've edited another one today, so more of that will be coming up. And then on Wednesday coming up on this channel, I've got a charity shop haul and Mike's second eye surgery that he had just before Christmas. So I've put that in one. And the reason I've put those two together as one video is there's a charity shop quite near the eye hospital. So that is a perfect way to kill some time. So while Mike has to go and have his eye surgery, when he wants a little walkabout afterwards while he's recuperating, we go to the charity shop. So I've showed you on that what I got the first time, his first operation, what I bought from the charity shop, and what I bought this second time as well. We got 2 more operations. I'm like, yeah, charity shop. Poor Mike, he has to have eye operations. If you don't know, if you're new to my channel, we don't live remotely anywhere near any shops, no shops at all, not a single shop remotely anywhere near us, let alone charity shops. And prior to that, I think a lot of you have seen my 2 big jobs in the garden. We've got a lot more gardening things coming up on this channel. This is one of my busiest times for gardening and general gardening. And then on Friday, I have got another episode of my indoor seed growing seeds in winter. I can grow seeds in winter, how I grow them, and you will follow those all the time. So I'm going to finish there today. I've done over my hour. I can hear the kettle boiling. Mike's going to probably be making me my sleepy tea. I've got some stuff I need to do before he knocks me out with my sleepy tea. It's, what is it? Oh, Steve could tell if he's still on. Road boy. That. Okay, so thank you all for being here. Thank you if you've managed to get in here live. It's always more fun when people are in and I can chat rather than just talking to myself. And thank you to those of you who can't make it live but watched this all the way through, watching it back later. So thank you very much. Don't forget to share my channel out. That is always much appreciated. And until next time, as always, Meraki.